And in today's video, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be something of a BLT sandwich. So 2 game stories, and in between is something from Hollywood which will make you laugh. It certainly gave me a giggle today, and if you do end up enjoying this video, make sure you give it a like, make sure you smash that subscribe button, maybe even hit the dislike button, because either way, whichever one you choose, it tells YouTube that you're watching my videos anyway. So without further ado, folks, let's get into the first story of the day.
16 times the detail.
He's fearless, scaleless, a little too careless.
Now, I don't know about this character at all called Roze, R-O-Z-E. Of course, as soon as I heard that name, it's a girl boss, and she's an overpowered girl boss in the Call of Duty male franchise. What a big surprise, but courtesy of InsiderGaming.com, COD's most controversial skin is back, probably a foreskin in this instance, but it's behind a hefty paywall. So move on over Terminator, an old familiar face is back in town and standing ready to take the spot on the most overpowered, controversial COD skin. When Season 3 arrives in Black Ops 6 on April the 2nd, which is today of course, players will be able to unlock ROZ3, otherwise known as Roze, a modern day recreation of one of the sweatiest operators in Call of Duty history. Again, I don't play multiplayer, so I wouldn't have a clue who this chick is. Back in the day, Roze was the firm favorite of players looking for an unfair advantage over the competition because she's a chick, right? Her skin was darker than dark and made her a shadow in dimly lit areas, and even a redesign to lighten her up didn't do much to stem the sales. Holy shit, is this Grant Taylor Hill? Does this guy realize what he's just written? This is hilarious. But there's a really sneaky catch though, because if you want to unlock this particular skin, it's going to set you back $30 US. And again, I am plagued with these silly adverts at the moment on YouTube. Every time I want to watch something on Disney Plus or Amazon, unforgettable, that's what you are. And it's just annoying as F. It really is. But that's her. But again, remember, it's a first person point of view game, so it makes no difference to me. And she looks like a bloody awful character anyway, which by the way folks is a lovely segue into the next story today, which I thought was an April Fool's joke of sorts, but it's not actually. So courtesy of That Part Place, Collider, who else would it be, celebrates Snow White box office as major victory for Rachel Zegler. How exactly, Collider? Are you sniffing cocaine off dead hookers' chests? Probably, it wouldn't surprise me. So even though this film only raked in $143 million, maybe a bit more globally, I can't remember now, it's just so ridiculous. Apparently Collider are calling it a success, even though the film has tanked, because they're saying it actually keeps the reputation intact of Rachel Zegler. Again, I don't think Collider fully knows what they're talking about, but they haven't done that basically for the last 10 years now, it seems. And what's really funny about this whole thing is that I didn't know this, but IMDb have had to add a disclaimer against the Snow White movie, which is very funny. So Walt Disney Pictures have been disappointed. So Justin Klawans is probably the culprit here, who obviously shills for Rachel Zegler, you know, the girl with no tits. The film's underperformance has come in due to a combination of factors, including the controversy surrounding the 2 lead stars, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot, by the way, has gotten more of the blame because she's an Israeli actress and a woman, and the fact that she'd obviously be pro-Israel. They're blaming her politics, even though Gal's never really publicly spoken out too much about that. Yeah, apparently she's to blame, not Rachel Zegler. It's the usual bullshit. But IMDb stated that their rating mechanism has detected unusual voting activity on this title. It's got a 1.5 out of 10 stars, and it's still there, folks. Even if I refresh it right here on my Opera GX browser, it will still come back as 1.5, even though there are many reviews already regarding this film. And if it's review bombing, or bumming as I like to call it, well, it serves it right, because who the hell was actually begging for this? From what I could tell, if you even look on Cineworld to book a ticket, if you were going to do that, there are many seats available. I mean, when you walk into the movie theater, you might as well just take a back seat, even if you didn't actually choose that on the online booking system, right? So who cares? And fuck Rachel Zegler and Disney for the most part as well, because they're an absolutely abhorrent company these days. Even though, ironically, if you subscribe to their streaming channel, I watch a lot of the 20th Century Fox stuff more, because there's some really good films and documentaries to watch there. But on the Disney side of things, I've got the Renovations show to watch, where Jeremy Renner builds projects for people who aren't so fortunate. So good for him for doing that, and obviously he's probably an MVP for me at this point. But the last story I want to touch on, folks, is Doom, The Dark Ages. So what's very interesting about this, on Monday, certain content creators were allowed to share their thoughts based on the first chapter of the game, which is around 4 hours. I don't know. Because what it is, there was an hour of actual gameplay I think they could do, but it was all segmented. And again, Bethesda or id were only allowing certain portions of their access to the game to be filmed and then to be shared on their particular YouTube channel. And the common takeaway that I've seen from many reviewers like SkillUp and Colt Eastwood is that the game looks gorgeous, and it does. I think with SkillUp, he was pushing it with a 5080 graphics card. Listen, I've got an RTX 4070 and I'm happy with that, and I don't think I'm going to change it out anytime soon. I love the 2016 Doom. That for me is probably the OG at this stage, because the Mick Gordon soundtrack is incredible. But I'd also say as well that Eternal, again, the fast movement, the constant weapon switching, the stupid parkour, which seemed out of place to me regarding Eternal. So I wasn't the only one. Even Ice-T, the actor rapper, said the same thing too. Like, why do we have this? Or it's just so fucking stupid, and it really hindered the game for me. I just gave up halfway through. I couldn't stand it any longer. But the thing is, this is more, the Dark Ages is more of a ground level attacker, which I like. You do get that female boss turning up again, but it turns out that she's amongst the team who have actually created the Doomslayer, and they let him out when there's a big crisis to threaten Earth or the universe as we know it. So she's one of the bosses, so to speak, who's probably in charge of releasing or incarcerating him again after he's done his deed for the day and to save humanity, all that stuff. I'm a little bit suspicious about her still, because I don't know why she was a bit of a focus in the trailer. But everybody says that the dragon sequence, where the Doomslayer boards a dragon and you've got to take out 3 spaceships, but the problem is when you're on this dragon, the controls feel a bit fluffy. That's just me coining that phrase. It's not really enjoyable. id Techware have said that they've actually thrown it in to step it up a little bit, but to me, I think if you just had many levels on the ground where you could do different things, that would have been fine, because Doom 2016 was very much that, and that's why I love that game so much. So time will only tell. Some people have said that this particular title, this particular entry in the Doom franchise, not only gives you some lore about the character, but it might be divisive in terms of the gameplay and the fact that some weapons feel smaller, or not smaller, but slower in their approach to taking out enemies. It's more like the actual glory kills or the melee attacks actually have impact as opposed to previous titles. And so with certain enemies, you just can't shoot them. You actually have to go in there and which is pretty awesome actually. But I think it looks great, and the soundtrack also sounds awesome. Obviously it's not Mick Gordon anymore, but it's a faithful reproduction of his sound. So even though he and Bethesda have still got ongoing issues about his time for them and not being paid properly, it seems that his DNA is a permanent fixture now with that franchise, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And if you enjoyed this video today, folks, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, hit the join button if you want to, and I'll catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Dream of me. I'll make your dreams come true. Everything's possible with me.